Okay, Norm Schoonebeek, author of Zen N, and well, I got about half the battery charge on the camcorder, so we'll see how far I get with this. Not sure which of these I want to read. Let's see. You know what? I think I'll just keep it real simple with short story Harry is pretty much the most down-to-earth story, and it's short, just a couple of pages, but again, it's not exactly a good representation of the genre of the other short stories, which are a little more depending on which one, fantasy or sci-fi-ish, or you know, as far as Frog would be a little more fantasy, Brainstorm Blizzard more sci-fi, and then Silence is kind of like way up there as far as like Buddhist enlightenment stuff. So anyway, I think that's what I'll do. I'll just read Harry. I think that comes across okay on a video like this, and let's give it a shot, see what happens. So at the beginning of each story I have a quote from somebody that I thought was appropriate for that story. So for Harry I have, "May my words be sweet, for I may have to eat them someday." And that was a quote, a little sign in my a former boss's office. Okay, so again, this short story is Harry. Screaming at the top of his lungs, Pete flies down the stairs. "Susan, damn it. Susan, where the hell are you?" Recoiling her hand from the cookie jar, Susan leaps towards a cabinet, flings the door open, and dives in. Closing the door swiftly and silently, she finds herself under the kitchen sink. Unable to see in the darkness, she listens for a sign of Pete's approach. "Susan, I know you're around here somewhere. I could kill you. Damn it, Susan!" As Pete nears the fear-stricken prey, Susan slowly inhales and holds her breath. Without blinking, she glues her eyes to the cabinet door, where at any moment Pete's lecherous eyes and foamy mouth may appear. Out of the corner of his eye, Pete spies the two large naked breasts by the sink. Cringing his nose, he curses, "Barbecued chicken." Pete has had barbecued chicken for the last 3 days. Unable to even look at the chicken breasts, he turns around toward the refrigerator to cop a roast beef hero. The hero has been there for 5 days. His parakeet has been missing for 2 hours. Now crying, Susan bumps her head on the drain pipe and cries even harder. Totally powerless, she manages a "I'm sorry, Peter," across her trembling throat. Groping with her hands in the darkness, searching for the door, she tumbles out of the cabinet and onto the kitchen floor. Hearing Susan surrender, Pete chokes on his roast beef and spits it along with 7-Up through the air and onto the stove. Susan, lying on her side in cut-off jeans, a Snoopy t-shirt, and pro-cab basketball sneakers, gives a "You still love me, don't you?" look while directing all of her glimmer to her shining blonde hair, Charlie Brown smile, and flickering eyelids, revealing blue eyes containing all the beauty of the world. Not noticing all the beauty of the world, Pete throws a bite-sized projectile of roast beef at Susan's head. Dodging the attack, Susan rolls onto her stomach, leaving her left shoulder open for the assaulting morsel. Grazing her shoulder and leaving a mayonnaise white badge of courage, the projectile dies on the floor, leaving it up to Susan to say, "I'm sorry, Peter," again. Darkness falls upon her as she is caught in the shadow of Pete's massive body hovering over her own Bambi-like frame. Pete reveals his fangs, and Susan gasps, preparing to die. Being the inexperienced woman she is, 8-year-old Susan knows she is totally defenseless against a brother twice her age, Her long life passes before her. "You've killed him," exclaims Pete. "I didn't kill him, I set him free," Susan announces in defense. "Damn it, Susan, he's going to die. You know that as well as I do. You've killed Harry." Harry is a parakeet that Susan freed from its cage after bringing the cage outside Pete's room, outside the house, and into the outdoors. "He would have died anyway. At least now he's free," Susan protests. Harry doesn't know what it means to be free. He's out there floundering around somewhere, probably bumping into trees or cats or something. He'll go crazy. Harry can't handle freedom. He's a caged bird. He's supposed to live in a cage. It's his home. No longer afraid, Susan is now quite angry. Being a secret admirer of Socrates, she engages her tongue into full throttle. "You don't care about Harry. You only care about yourself. You really do. You know that? Harry is a bird. He's alive, Peter. He's not like one of those posters all over your walls. How could you keep such a beautiful bird in a cage? He can't fly in that cage, Peter. You were killing him. He was dying in that cage. He didn't even sing anymore. And you never clean it anymore, Peter. You never clean the cage. I wish I could put you in that cage just for a day. How would you like it?" "You had no right, Susan. You had no right doing that. He's my goddamn bird. I can't just go letting people's pets run away like that. Harry was my bird. He didn't sing anymore, Peter. He didn't do anything. He just sat there. You know it, Peter. You know it's the truth. He was dying." "He wasn't dying, Susan. He was just depressed. He misses Polly. Polly was Harry's mate. Polly died." "You were killing him, Peter. You were killing him with your cigarette smoke and your loud music, and your friends. They always poked him with things." After slamming several cabinet doors, Pete charges toward the kitchen door and flings himself outside as if to look for Harry. Instead, he proceeds to kick 2 garbage cans, making the small dents larger. It appears that Susan has won the argument. She walks to the door, almost laughing, but is too angry to laugh. Pete sees her and commences with the second barrage of words. "And he did too sing. I sing to him in the room, Susan. I've been singing to him, and he sings back. He didn't stop singing." "I've heard you too. Harry wasn't singing, Peter. He was telling you to shut up." Pete's face turns red. "I even bought him a mirror after Polly died, so he wouldn't be lonely." "You're so stupid, Peter. Do you really think that mirror made Harry happy? You must think Harry is as stupid as you." "He's going to die out here, Susan. That's if he isn't dead already." "He was going to die anyway, Peter. At least now he's free." Susan sticks her tongue out, exclaiming the Bronx cheer. Unwilling to give up and too big to punch little Susan in her little face, Pete threatens, "Just wait till Mommy gets home. When I tell her what you did, you're going to be in big trouble. She'll make you buy me a new parakeet, too." Little Susan starts punching Big Peter in the chest, arms, and legs, frustrated and ignorant to the fact that the punches really hurt Peter and will leave real black and blue marks. Drained of all her energy, Susan retreats to the house, up the stairs to her room and bed, and while curled up in a ball, cries to the kittens embroidered on her pillowcase. The next day, Susan is sitting in the back of the '74 Malibu, clutching onto the fake pink rabbit's foot she purchased for a steal at 10 cents in a capsule dispenser. Heading towards the mall with her mother at the wheel, Susan is being held captive in order that she appear at the Grant's department store basement, where she'll be forced to buy a new parakeet for Peter. Upon entering the mall, Susan spots a United States Marines poster which declares in bold letters, "Freedom is not free." Damn right it isn't, she thinks to herself. Unaware of her daughter's intentions and preoccupied with the idea of purchasing a new tablecloth for the bridge party tonight, Susan's mother tells Susan to buy the parakeet on her own. Leaving Susan, her mother proceeds to the tablecloth department. Susan grits her teeth and tiptoes down the basement of the Grant's department store, unaware that she is crushing a rabbit's foot in her hand. Along the back wall are shelves and shelves of bird cages filled with parakeets, canaries, and other birds that Susan had not even known existed. Again, she is crying, but keeps the tears to a minimum. This is no time to attract the attention of the clerks. Now wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, she approaches the cages. The birds are aware of her presence and start squeaking, screaming, crying, and singing ballads of lament and anguish. Clawing and pecking at the steel bars, their eyes are all on Susan now. Their savior has come at last. The clerk nearest to her is preoccupied with observing 2 teenage boys who look exactly like potential teenage boy shoplifters. Hypnotized by the flurry of color-saturated feathers, rapidly undulating in rhythm to the pulsating breast, Susan almost forgets her task at hand. Slowly she gains control of herself, glances at the ignorant clerk, and quickly grapples with the first of many cage doors. Ripping the door open, she is now empowered by an endless source of energy and immediately grabs at the next door, flinging it open. The room is now filled with the cries of crashing, clawing, ecstatic birds finding their way towards the open doors. 3, 4, 5 doors. The clerk screams in horror upon seeing Susan standing amidst the shower of feathers and escaping prisoners. Aware of the clerk's hysterical approach, Susan abandons the other cages and makes a run for the stairs some 15 miles away. Aware of the escaping Susan, the 2 teenage boys step in front of the clerk and inquire, "Excuse me, do you know where we can find open-end wrenches, similar to the wrenches they had just slipped in their pockets?" Finding her path blocked, the clerk shoves the 2 boys aside and runs into a menagerie of reckless birds. Susan stumbles up the stairs, scratching the steps with her hands and feet, her eyes fixed on the front door that will lead to her own freedom. Panting and out of breath, she throws herself through the open door and runs behind a pretzel vendor where she can observe the store unseen. A lady of 50 or so, wearing a weathered gray dress, spongy black shoes, and brown teeth, slowly pushes her shopping cart through the door, unaware of the solitary bird grazing her head and taking to the sky with wide eyes revealing its own liberation. Susan dances with joy at seeing the bird and retreats to a pizza restaurant where she will obtain her own source of nutrition. The 2 boys are also outside now dismantling someone's bicycle. The first says to the second, "Those birds may die if they escape." The second, removing the rear tire with the wrench he stole, answers, "Yeah, but they were going to die anyway. At least now they're free." The first, with an expressionless face, states, "Yeah." That's it. That is Harry. And that was written in 1978 along with Silence and Frog. When my senior year of college as a philosophy major at SUNY Oneonta. There you have it.